Imagine a dung beetle rolling the sun across the sky every night and every morning. This is something you may have believed if you lived in ancient Egypt. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about beetles. Number 10. Beetles make sounds. It isn't just the Beatles from the 1960s rock and roll era that can drum up a beat, but beetles in general are capable of a myriad of sounds, be it clicks, whoops, squeaks or hisses. Beetles don't make sounds from a voice box like humans do, but instead rely on many other methods, from banging their heads against a wall to rapidly rubbing parts of their body together. And if Usain Bolt gets any faster, his underwear will start to chirp. Number 9. We've all eaten beetles. Probably. Popping down red Smarties, adding red food colour into your cake mix, or putting on that red lipstick along with your little black dress means you've probably eaten a beetle. Carminic acid, or as you may have heard of it, cochineal, is extracted from the dried remains and eggs of Dactylopius coccus, or the cochineal beetle. This little beetle's colourful properties were first discovered many centuries ago by the Aztecs and Mayans of South and Central America, where the insect lives on cactus. Since then, the Peruvians have made this practice big industry, squeezing the life out of millions of beetles every year, that's so you can have pink yogurts. As a side note, when checking products for this natural food colouring, it may also be labelled as Natural Red 4, Carmine, Crimson Lake, or in the EU, E120. For all you vegans out there, I'm sorry to say that you could be wearing this right now. If you have anything on that is red, pink, purple or even orange, there is a good chance it's been dyed by a squished beetle or two. Good luck with navigating around that rabbit hole. Remember vegans, if we stop using this product, then you're likely to make over 32,000 Peruvian farmers starve to death and force further deforestation to grow other natural colouring agents that don't work clearly as well. Catch 22. Number 8. You've probably painted with beetles. Along with many other uses, the wood stainer shellac is made from a resin secreted by the female lac beetle, Chiraea lacca. A lac farmer will take a stick or branch that has thousands of eggs laid upon it and tie it to the host tree. Once the eggs hatch, the beetles grow and secrete lac onto the tree's trunk and branches, covering the tree in the resin. Once this happens, the farmer will cut off the covered branches and sell them as stick lac. The sticks are then crushed and washed and cleaned many times, then sieved to remove impurities. The resulting product is a seed-like block of resin known as seed lac because of its shape. Seed lac is then processed using several different methods that result in the final product, shellac. This practice has been known for thousands of years in India, and over those years it has migrated to other parts of the world and is still being used today in many food products as a colouring agent, as well as still being used to create lacquerware. Number 7. Chemical warfare. We've all had a curry and experienced the horrors of a fiery ring, but some beetle species take this to a whole new level. The bombardier beetle wages chemical warfare on potential predators by mixing 2 volatile substances together inside its body and then releases them through their rear end. Using specially designed chambers, it stores hydroquinone in one and hydrogen peroxide in another. When the time comes, they are mixed together and an enzyme is stirred in to act as a catalyst, and then fired out at speed towards a potential enemy. If you thought there was only one species of this beetle, then you would be mistaken. There are over 500 species around the world with these capabilities. When the deterrent doesn't work and the beetle is eaten by a frog or a toad, it still has a chance of survival. Being swallowed whole, it can release the explosive cocktail inside the animal's stomach, causing them to vomit up the beetle, and a large percentage of the time it manages to live through the ordeal. Number 6. A quarter of the planet is made of beetles. If all the animals in the world walked past you in a line, 1 in 4 of them would be a beetle. Scientists have documented around 350,000 different species of beetles so far, with estimates of a possible 3 million or more still to be described. Even if you add in plant life to the list, beetles will still manage to be a 1 in 5 ratio. That's pretty impressive and quite surprising that we're not falling over mounds of beetles every day. Not only are there tons of these beetles, they live almost everywhere, having adapted to live on land and fresh water, from woodlands and forests and grassland through deserts and tundras. You can even find them on mountain tops and beneath the earth. I have 4 son beetles, named John, Paul, George and Ringo. It's not important, I just thought I would tell you. Number 5. Beetle wrestling. Beetle wrestling, or fighting, is a popular pastime in Japan, mostly employing the Japanese rhinoceros beetle as the fighters. Being extremely territorial animals, the rhino beetle male will instantly engage another male in a fight for a bit of land, log, a plant they're currently calling home. If 2 beetles are placed on a log, they will fight by locking in their arms and attempt to throw the other beetle off the log. This behaviour triggers the gambling gene in humans, and great swathes of cash are exchanged by betting on which beetle will win the log. This sounds like a harmless bit of fun, as the losing beetle will pick itself up and run off humiliated by the stronger beetle that gets to keep the log. But humans have been known to take it one step further and start stabbing and shooting each other over the money they won or lost by gambling on the beetles who really wants a log. And humans have the audacity to call them dumb animals. Number 4. Tougher than a really tough thing. There is one beetle out there that is harder than John McClane in Die Hard and tougher than beef jerky. It's so hard that it comes complete with a really cool name, the diabolical ironclad beetle, which is equivalent to being called Max Power or Johnny Bravo for humans. Driving over this guy isn't an issue. Due to their molecular structure in their shells, they can withstand a downward force of around 6,000 to 7,000 pounds, or 2,800 kilos, or 39,000 times their own body weight. Impressive. Researchers are now looking into this beetle's fascinating structure in the hopes it will bring a light to a better way of constructing buildings and even aeroplanes. Number 3. Where there's muck, there's brass. If you live somewhere that I don't, and happen to have dung beetles around you, you may have seen them rolling big balls of crap. But did you know that the Taurus scarab or bull beetle is the strongest insect on Earth? Research published in 2010 showed that they was able to lift 1,140 times their own weight in shit. Dung beetles also provide a greatly needed service. Imagine if they didn't exist. All that poop being pooped out on a daily basis just lying there, only to have another layer pooped out on top of it again tomorrow. Dung beetles collect their poop, roll it into little balls, move it great distances and then bury it. I don't think we pay them enough respect for the work they do. This not only removes the unsightly poop mountain that would obviously develop, but also fertilises the soil, which helps to grow bigger and better plant life. What eco-warriors these guys really are. Number 2. From one eco-warrior to another.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
Plastics.
Actually, the future is trying to get rid of plastics. Over the last 70 years, we've gone from 2 million tonnes to 350 million tonnes of plastic products every year. And now the oceans are filling up with plastic waste and killing innocent turtles and other sea creatures because humans can't get enough of the stuff. Enter the darkling beetle, or at least its larvae, the mealworm. Mealworms have been found to be able to digest some plastics using enzymes in their gut. They will quite happily go through their life cycle if fed on nothing but styrofoam or plastic bags. Pretty handy, eh? If you're watching this, then there is a good chance that you keep arthropods or lizards and possibly have mealworms of your own on a shelf somewhere as feeders. Take a few out and try this experiment for yourself. Number 1. The cake is a lie. I'm sorry to break the news to those of you that don't know, but ladybugs, or ladybirds as we call them here in the UK, are neither bugs nor birds, so we're all wrong, and not just the Americans this time. Many people use the word bug as an interchangeable word for arthropods, meaning any creepy crawly. I've even heard it used to describe slugs and snails, which is completely incorrect. Bugs, or true bugs as entomologists would tell you, belong to the order Hemiptera. And in this current climate, it is only a matter of time before they start protesting and demanding that they are termed correctly, instead of being lumped in with everything else or everything else stealing their identification. True bugs don't have teeth or mandibles, but have a mouth like a straw which they use to stab their food and suck up the insides like soup. This is quite inoffensive when the prey is a plant stem, but some bugs, like the assassin bug, will use their stabby on other insects, and hands if they can get hold of them. They inject a nasty concoction that dissolves the innards, which they suck up through their straw and then discard the empty husk. Nice. And that's it for my top 10 beetle facts. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.